Yo, what's up guys? J.E.E Productions, and in today's video I'm going to be covering search and destroy tips and how to improve your win-loss ratio in search and destroy. So last episode we actually ended up doing capture the flag, so I'm going to be leaving a link to the description to that down below, as well as to the original general tips video that I did for that. So search and destroy is honestly a really hard game to try to explain to you guys. So what I'm going to be doing this episode, I'm just going to be breaking down the gameplay as to what I'm doing, the routes I'm taking, the classes I'm using, and all that stuff. So getting right into it, you see I'm playing on the map of Redwood. So the route I take is I take Waterside towards B, and the whole purpose of this kind of rushing route is to see if anyone obviously first of all is at B, or maybe if I can try and go behind people if they're at A. But I ended up kind of just staying at B, trying to kind of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for here? Control the middle of the map. So you see here, B, this little building here in B is really essential because not only can you watch over B, but it also has a good view of the bridge over there as well as the middle of the map. So a lot of people like to come here, especially on the defensive side. So you see here my teammate dies. It's 1v2 situation. I see one there. I know he died beneath me. He also lets me know he died beneath me, but he ends up coming back up top, and I end up clutching it on a 1v2 situation. That's really important, guys. Tip number one is communication. You want to have good teammates that know what they're doing, and people that actually let you know what's going on. So he died. He's like, he's below you. I kill him. I come back up, and I'm expecting him below me, but he ends up coming from the stairs. But I got the idea, and at least he let me know where he was. So communication is key, guys, especially in search and destroy. When you only have one life, you want to make sure you know everything that's going on around you. So now I'm actually on the defensive side, and you see I'm going to push back through B building just because it's so essential, and I'm going to go back up top because, again, you have a good view of the bridge and, of course, the middle of the map. So it really wasn't a good idea to do this with a VMP, especially since I can't really challenge across the map because there's so much recoil. But if you want to do that with like a Man of War, MA, maybe even a Shiva, then you can go right ahead and do so. So once I see that nobody is at B, I rotate straight back to A, and you see my prediction was correct. I knew they were going to be there, and their whole team ends up being there. So I do end up dying, but I know that they're in here. So that is another tip, is to basically use common sense. If they're not going to be at one bomb site, they're obviously going to be on the other. So start rotating as soon as you can. Maybe even have some people flank the other bomb site. So you guys just kind of want to be knowledgeable about what's going on. And like I said before, kind of just use common sense. So again, I'm going to be talking about some perks here, and you see he goes to the underneath wall run, and if you want to be able to pull that off, Afterburner is extremely useful, especially if you're a rushing type of search and destroy player. Afterburner is the perk that you want to be using, and secondary, or the second perk is a lot. I mean, it's not really too important. Fast hands is probably your best option, but honestly, you do not even need to have a perk 2. You can just take it off and maybe even use a wild card on perks 1 and 2 to have 2 of each of those. And perk 3, you always want to have either awareness, dead silence, or dead silence blast suppressor. Those are the 3 most important perks, I think, in search and destroy in general. So you see here I pull out the HCXD. So this thing is absolutely killer in search and destroy, guys, especially if the other team isn't using flak jacket. And here, this is what's going to transition me into the other tip. If you know that the other team is, throwing frags or using HCXDs, then you might want to switch over to a class with flak jacket. But in this case, I mean, they destroyed it, but the HXD is still extremely killer, guys. You shouldn't really use it at the beginning of the round. I would recommend using it maybe if you're like in a 1v2 situation, or if you know someone's in a particular building and you don't want to actually rush in there, you take your HCXD in there. So the HCXD is extremely useful in search and destroy, and I think it definitely comes in handy. So you see here my 2 teammates are pushing the A bomb site, and they're pushing together. So this is really important, especially in like 2v2 situations, 2v1 situations. You always want to be together because the likelihood of the person that's alive pulling off a double kill, it's there, but you don't want to be like literally right next to each other. So you see there, that's a perfect example of a trade. So my teammate playing the bomb dies, but the other teammate ends up picking the guy that killed him off. So that's what a trade is. And especially in 2v1 situations, or vice versa, or well, not vice versa, because obviously you don't have anyone. But if you're like 2v2 situations or 3v2 situations, you always want to have 2 people together to try and pull off a certain amount of trades. And trades are extremely useful, especially in those 2v1 situations, guys, because they can't kill both of you at the same time. So now I'm just gonna go back into the gameplay and kind of talk about what I end up doing in this little route here. So you see we do end up pushing mid, and obviously in a 3v4 situation or in a 4v4 situation you shouldn't really be doing this because it's pretty damn risky, but since it was 3v4 we were playing a little bit more aggressive to try and get the numbers even. So 3v3 situation. But if you guys do want to do this, I mean, I wouldn't really recommend pushing up like I'm doing, especially when you're defending. But if you know they're going to be there, and it ends up working out for me, you see they do end up planning A bomb, and I pick one guy off. So sometimes it will work out for you, but I mean sometimes it won't. So I really do not recommend actually attacking while you're defending. I would recommend playing a little bit more laid back when you're defending. So you see here, it ends up being a 2v1 situation. I see that we're both together. Again, with the trade thing, we were thinking about pushing together, but I was like, you know what? I might as well flank and see if I pick him off. And surely enough, I can pick him off. So again, you can either trade or do what we just did, have one person go to the bomb site and have one person try and flank. So Search and Destroy, guys, is all about making decisions, honestly. Like the decision-making process in Search and Destroy, it's all mental. You know, everything, and the decisions you make could end up deciding whether you win the game or not. So you guys always want to make sure you're making the right decision and make sure that you're not doing anything too stupid. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you want to see more of the S&D tips, I might just do more videos for the Search and Destroy tips, since it's such a complex game. You know, I might go over rushing routes, camping spots, or just neat little places where you can sit, and you know, where people usually come through, just things like that. Let me know if you want to see that, though. I'm not too sure if I'm going to continue. So that's going to be it for the Search and Destroy tips, guys. If you do enjoy, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, anything to help out the channel. I would really appreciate it. Hardpoint and capture, or not capture the flag, uplink, I'm sorry, will be coming out again later this week, so stay tuned for those. Again, I'm probably going to annotate the capture the flag video and the general tips video right about now. So if you guys do want to see more of this, make sure to drop a like. This is it for me, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.